the king, baby.
It's Monday. You know what that means. It's me. It's Michael B. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We got a really fun show. I promise you it's a fun show because I actually got a real professional YouTuber in to help me because I know I'm the drizzling shits. Anyways, tonight we're going to be talking about Arcade1Up XL cabs, one of my absolute favorite topics. And why is it so goddamn hard for Arcade1Up to just make some more? We all want it. We need it. Make some more XL cabs. Why can't you do that? So we'll talk about that tonight. Plus some positive news for my friends north of the border. The AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP has finally arrived here. It's moving its way west, so I'm going to tell you guys when you can expect to receive it, depending on how you decided to pick it up, whether you're going to get it in store or in the warehouse, and tips on what you can do when you're initially setting up your machine. And most importantly, if you have any issues, where to go and who to talk to about those issues. Anyways, sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage of your choice, and guessing by my guest tonight, you may want to get something with some alcohol in it. This is Chill and Chat with Michael B. $19K Fox, how the hell are you?
Evidently drunk by the intro.
No, not drunk, but you do like to have a drink for enjoyment during your shows.
I do. I enjoy a nice bourbon beverage, yes. How are you, my Canadian friend?
I am drinking coffee, trying to stay awake. Life is a never-ending pile of trying to stay awake.
Has something to do with the children, I would imagine, or the wife.
Oh, yeah. So if anybody else here is thinking, hey, man, I'm 42. Now would be a great time to have another kid. Let me tell you something.
It's going to come at a cost, yeah.
Yeah. We started life late. Still very happy we could, but man, I'm tired. I'm so tired. So tired. So much, Miss Rachel. Anyways, Fox, the reason I asked you here tonight is I want to talk about a couple things. Of course, you being the, well-known Canadian that you are, I thought you would be the best person to ask about gun control and also the 4K ALP making its way to Canada. So I thought we could have a robust discussion on both of those.
Yes.
And also, number two, and this is the one I actually really brought you in here, we're really big fans of the Arcade1Up XL lines. We love Arcade1Up. We want to buy their stuff. We just want it to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more fun. And for some reason, they seem to be having some performance anxiety when it comes to producing Arcade1Up XL cabinets. And I want to talk about it and explain a little bit of history, why it's taken so long, and why they seem to be having so much freaking trouble right now. Does that sound like something you'd like to chat about? I figured you'd be a good one to talk about with this.
Absolutely. And I've always heard that 17 inches is a nice size, but not quite what we need to really get us going. Right, Mike?
You need those extra 2 inches. Sometimes you got to blue chew it.
It's a big deal.
And speaking of big deals, ladies and gentlemen, $2 from Kevin Clausen. Yes, always end with Freddy Krueger. LOL. Try my best even with your transition there. I'm not quite as good as you, but then again, I don't think anybody expects
you excel in other areas.
You're good at other things, buddy.
Look at you. You're doing just fine.
Sometimes your hair isn't that bad.
Have at thee.
So, oh my God, Marine 50. At first, I was reading this saying, "Glad my kids are 24 and 21." And I thought you were talking about my aggressive profanity as I was starting the show tonight, not the fact that.
There's that. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I always laugh like Pete Ubbs is like, "Oh, I was so busy today. I had to take a nap and stuff." And I was like, "Must be nice to have like a full-grown son."
You don't have that freedom, my friend.
No,
You just
no.
don't have it. Yeah.
No. All right, so let's talk about the AtGames. Let's talk about Arcade1Up XL. We like them. We love them, in fact. We want more of them. So much so that people are kind of getting antsy right now waiting for something. I have talked to two YouTubers the last little while, and I say the term YouTuber, but this is not a YouTube thing. This is not about YouTube. It's just about your collection and wanting to get cool things. I've talked to two people who collect Arcade1Up who also have YouTube channels, one of which is you, the other which is PD7, who is my last guest. Both of you have talked to me about having interest in buying the Arcade1Up Killer Instinct Pro in the last little while.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. I think he wants to buy it just for that. Did you want to buy it just for that, or were you thinking maybe a mod project? Because I know you're like...
No, yeah, I'm not afraid of modding. Absolutely not. But I think at $1,000 or even, if there was possibly a coupon, you pick this thing for $900, I wouldn't mod it.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think that I would do really anything. I don't know, maybe swap out buttons would be maybe the farthest I would go. But at that price point, I wouldn't mod it at all.
Oh, the buttons are dandy. You don't...
Maybe I would probably have to part with the anti-fatigue mat. Is it anti-fatigue or fatigue? Does it make you tired? I don't know.
Honestly, man, I can't stay awake. I'm drinking like
it's an narcolepsy
mat.
That's what it is. You just pass out and you just take the stick to the eye.
So
it's horrible.
I find it funny because I have it. So I mean, like, I'm just sitting here. I got nothing to do. But you guys are actually considering, like, you're like, well, I know that KI Pro is out there and it's not going to be there forever. So maybe we should pick it up. Like, people are in that state right now. You're so desperate for more XL cabs that you're willing to go pay an outrageous price to get a very, very good cab. Don't get me wrong. I love the KI Pro.
They played the long game, didn't they? Like, oh, well, we know how to get them. We'll just offer nothing else. That's what we'll do. Yeah. And I'll just go for it.
So I know this is something you've heard before, but why did Arcade1Up take so long to make a product that was bigger?
It seemed like sort of a natural evolution. Remember,
you would think so, wouldn't you?
But at the time, there was risered cabs.
Yeah.
17 inches, the 3/4 scale, that's what they were calling riser cabs. There was this discussion, this murmuring, this disturbance in the force, talking about eliminating the riser, going with something bigger. We did. I always work that in as much as I can. And there was like this teetering, like, okay, so do they just keep, like, if you go with a 3/4, you're going to get the riser. You're never going to live without the riser. It's always going to be a risered version. A version without a riser isn't enough to get people to buy. You got to go bigger. Yeah. You got to go with an 9-inch model. I think that's where this all sort of came from. But then we saw the first wave had the bad monitors, and it was a mixed bag, buddy. It was
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. You're jumping ahead. We're gonna hop back in the DeLorean. We're gonna go back a little bit.
Yep, reel it back in.
Why did it take so long for Arcade1Up to get to this point to actually make a bigger cabinet? We have both heard the story. Might be from John D, or might be from one of the episodes of One Up Weekly he did with Justin and Retro Ralph all those years ago, where he told the story about they made like a full-size Star Wars before they even made Star Wars. They actually tested this out. So they were always thinking about going with a bigger cabinet. So why did it take so long? And I want to bring this up. Who is Arcade1Up's biggest license partner? Who is the one that really got them into the game? Who's the one who originally went to Walmart and said, hey, we want, toy arcades made to be sold at Walmart, and Arcade1Up, ThinkUp, won the bid? Who is that partner?
It's got to be Namco, right? It's got to be Pac-Man, right? Would be the first one. Oh, well, amazing.
Correct.
How did I guess it?
It was right there on the screen. It was wild.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, one of the reasons that I was told, it might have been Justin, because we know at points Justin was pretty close with Arcade1Up through his tie-in through One Up Weekly. Might have been John D himself. Might have been just some random guy I saw at the bar one time. But someone told me that one of the reasons that Arcade1Up took so long to go into a bigger form factor was they did not want to compete with Namco, as Namco already had what they considered to be a larger scale product already out there with the Pixel Bash.
I had heard this too. Didn't know how much credence it had, but you've got to consider the partnership, and like you said, to the detriment or to the plus, I don't know exactly how this shakes out. They leaned on Pac-Man so hard and heavy. That was the thing that sort of got their foot in the door with the Walmarts of the world. So
yeah,
it's not a stretch in my opinion.
So anyways, here is the Pixel Bash, and I think it's a very cool concept, but man, what an ugly, ugly cab.
Dog crap. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they took some liberties, Fox, liberties with the art and
Liberties.
stuff like that. But that's one of the things I heard. Why are we like this?
Because I don't know. There we are.
There we go. That's much better. Doug Dog says he's never heard of the Pixel Bash. Decadent Dave says Pixel Bash is overpriced junk. Charlie Chuck says I call bull emoji. I don't know what that is.
That's a
bull chocolate.
Hershey's Kiss. That's right. Bull chocolate.
Kevin Clausen says 19K Fox. You can't. McGruber. This thing break into 1UP headquarters to get their 2024 roadmap. Looking handsome today. I don't want to read the last part. That's very offensive. Kevin
Absolutely.
Clausen, but thank you for your
can't
super
have
chat.
that. Absolutely. I appreciate it. I think the roadmap has like one thing on it, and we just got it.
Yeah. Conti says they have a full-size Pixel Bash. I've never seen the full-size, but I know that at CES this past year, you saw it. They did a full-size Pixel Bash Miss Pac-Man, right?
Yeah, well, I've seen one of the Pixel Bash, the full-size version. I believe it's the full-size at the local Wings and Rings place. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
There's so many wing places in the States that they all have different names. There's a million different names out there for these things.
So I've never ever played a Pixel Bash. I have seen posts from people recently being pretty critical, but these people are also pretty critical on pretty much everything else. So I think that's more of an act and a con more than anything else. So like I've never played it myself. Did you get a chance to try it out while you were in Vegas?
I did briefly. I mean, it's solid, and
yeah.
We're living in a post Arcade1Up world where we're used to these sort of compromises. The things about like the kick plate with all the games listed on it seemed odd before, but now we're just sort of used to that. So the styling, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's worth the price point they're asking. It is
what is it? What is it?
Go ahead.
US? What is it? US?
Oh,
the
I
price
don't even
point.
know. I don't even.
I saw it one time here in Canada. And it was like $2,500 for the Pixel Bash Cabaret.
I'm thinking it's $2,000 US, I believe. And so, but you're getting, there's much more emphasis on the construction. It is 3/4 inch MDF, not the 1/2 inch stuff. It's thicker, it's heavier, it's bigger. But I don't know that it's just, that cost is not justified in my opinion. It's a solid, well-built piece, but I just wouldn't pay $2,000 for it. Not at all.
So they're selling it at a slightly lower than commercial price, advertising commercial quality. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This is a home arcade.
It's a home arcade with thicker wood. I mean, it's better quality, but it's still a home arcade. There's a cap for these types of things, and I think around $1,000 is kind of where you're at. Maybe $1,200.
Well, that seems to be the new norm. Thor KC says $28.99 at Amazon. That's a lot of cheddar,
must be the
man.
full size. That's insane.
Yeah, $28.99 is crazy. I would. I don't know. It's a hard one, right? To me. I don't know what the answer is there. Do we want that kind of quality? Maybe from the original developer, but at that price point, I don't know. And to me, that's too much.
Well, it's Pac-Man. There's 5 million different ways to play Pac-Man. If you find something a little more rare, if it was a shooting cab and the gun was really good quality, okay, maybe you've got something there. But
so you could technically, for all intents and purposes, buy a not a brand new. You could buy a Pac-Man cabinet.
Yes.
Swap out the screen, throw in your own PC, and with or even use the original board, put in the Unico monitor, and you're good to go. Yeah. What does Pac-Man take? A 19 or a 26?
19.
19. So, I mean, you're good to go. So, and you could still do it a lot less than you can
Absolutely.
going to pick it up a Pixel Bash. But I guess it's the same thing as Arcade1Up. It's for the people that don't want to go through that trouble. They want something that's durable and stuff like that. And maybe Pixel Bash is slightly consumerish anyways, because it still has a coin door. Is this a functional coin door on this thing?
don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
I don't
not
know.
commercial quality, I mean, there's not really a lot of benefit there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal. I just don't get it. I think that there is a now that you've got Arcade1Up in the mix and you've got a robust home arcade market now.
Yeah.
$2,000, $3,000 it's just not there. It's not going to happen.
So that was the reason I was told they didn't get into it originally, but they
Yeah.
eventually did get into the marketplace and they went direct retail. You could buy them directly from Arcade1Up. They're normal retail channels, and they unleashed the very first one that we got, not the first one that was announced, but the first one we actually got, which was the Golden Tee 3D arcade machine. And everybody went nuts buying these. I remember you got one, Dubs got
Oh,
one,
absolutely.
Justin Console Kits got one. All the Arcade1Up guys got them. This
yeah?
was like the big thing. We were so excited they were finally releasing the XL cabs. I never got mine till a while later. Then I got a deal on it because I wasn't 100% sold. But what were your initial thoughts on the XL Golden Tee cabinet when you first got it, 19K Fox?
I remember putting this thing together. This is the first cabinet you had to stack. And
Yeah.
and I remember I put it on like two separate tables and combining it like Voltron together. This thing is just an excellent. I still have it. It's an excellent size. The sound, I don't know if it's the way the cab was shaped, like the thud of the pins, like when you're playing the bowling game that's
Yeah.
included. So good. We'll talk about the screen in a minute, I would imagine. But first impressions beyond the screen, I was like, wow, this is serious. Coin door. Was this the first appearance of the molded coin door?
Geez, that's a good question. I don't think it
Man,
was the first appearance of the molded coin door, because I think the molded coin door was already out on some of the cabs that came out earlier that year, like X-Men, Simpsons, all those. Golden Tee came out a
Yes.
little bit after that. Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right, because we didn't get it on T2. The coin doors were not on T2. They weren't on Ridge Racer, but that was a weird time for 1UP. We're kind of getting stuff out.
JT Games, awesome avatar he's got there for his name. That's a respectable football team. I mean, you don't want to disrespect yourself by going around liking the Cowboys. I mean, what kind of loser would do that?
Sorry, I lost audio there for a second. Was there a question?
He remembers I went to my buddy Mike Dalton's and I did like not a review, because if I'm making a video that's a review, it'll have review in the title. So like, if it doesn't have review in the title, it's not a review. I went and gave it like a very quick thought. Like if I do a review, I put a lot of time and effort into it, like testing and stuff like that. I went over to Mike Dalton's for like a couple hours.
What was that?
Like
What was that initial your reaction to it? Your reception? What did you think about it?
So I really liked it in terms of the height, the build, and everything. I was really impressed with it. We're going to talk about, obviously, the biggest problem with it in a couple minutes. One of the other things I didn't like, specifically with that cab, that is 100% a cab you have to stand and play. Whatever way it's built, you cannot put a stool under that son of a bitch. Like my legs were like jammed up against it.
You
I was
can't
like,
do it. You can't
this
do
is stoolless. And no need to make a stool, Arcade1Up. No need for a launch like we got coming up with X-Men 97 stool. New launch.
This stool is going to blow your mind.
The fucking new launch. Like, guys, Jesus Christ. It's called market research. Who likes our product? 40 to 60-year-old men. All right, we need lingo for people that aren't them.
I just hope
launch.
I'm waiting for my invitation to the launch party. Personally, I can't wait to
New
go.
launch, yo. I don't get it.
It's where it's at.
So you can't use a stool with this thing, and I liked everything about it. The size, everything was so impressive, but one of the things that really got me was the screen, and I actually thought the screen was worse than what it was, because he didn't have curtains in, and he had like the sun blaring in through his window, so it made it even more lighter than what it was. So I left saying, man, this screen is terrible. And it was actually Tech Buzz who told me, he said, with the lighting setup that you have there, with the natural lighting and stuff like that, it's going to impact the screen worse than what it was. So, eventually I got it on sale and I played it at home, and I was like, it's not bad as I initially thought, but that screen is bunk, and especially at the angle that it's at.
It was unforgivable, man. I mean, worse than the first gen, second gen 17-inch monitors we got in the very beginning.
Much worse.
So horrible. It seemed like you did so many things right, and you got this one thing wrong. And no matter how much of a fan you were of Arcade1Up, you just couldn't forgive it.
Decadent Dave says we had to stand in the arcades back in the day when we were young. And I listen, I'm not going to say whether or not you should stand, sit on a stool. That's your business. But you should have the option to do either way, especially if Arcade1Up. And they sold like 3 different stools for this machine, but it's unstoolable. It's non-stoolable.
It's just the no stool rule.
No stool. So the screen was atrocious, and that's what really hit us. And I remember, we did have access to talk to John D sometimes. Really, anybody could. All you had to do was write him on Twitter or Facebook, really, and it didn't matter who you were. For some reason, he'd talk to you. So it's not like this secret thing. Like if you're random Joe, you can talk to John D. You just write him on Facebook and be like, "Yo, John D, what's happening?" And depending on what mood he's in, he might tell you a bunch of shit that day. You don't know. But
what?
He talked about the screens, and he gave us 2 pieces of information about the screens. At the time, I mean, that screen was like terrible, but he said there wasn't anybody really making 19-inch screens that weren't TN monitors at the time. There was no 19-inch BOE monitor, what we were told. I don't know how accurate that is. At least he couldn't find it.
He couldn't find it. Combination of the supply chain issues also limited their options too. And it was like one of those things. We got this thing in production. We got to go. So it is what it is.
And we also went back and talked about the crash of the 17-inch TN monitors. I don't know what happened there, but from what I understand, that was a supply chain issue. And I think there was some backstage politics stuff going on there that we didn't really know about. I think Arcade1Up had become very dependent on BOE for their monitors, and maybe BOE was fighting them on price a little bit. And Arcade1Up was like, "We don't need you. We'll just go get this other monitor we used before. No one even knew."
Right.
But the problem was they went back and they ordered the exact same monitor that they had got for Wave 1 and Wave 2, but didn't realize that they had changed the backlighting. And because of that change in the backlighting, it made all the difference in the world. I mean, that Wave 1 and Wave 2 monitor was vastly superior to that monitor they used in those beautiful legacy cabinets that were just ruined.
The backlighting, the side lighting, if you've ever kind of modded some of these old handhelds from back in the day with these included screens that were not backlit at all, there's so many different ways to illuminate an LCD panel. There is edge lighting, which is just light from one side, which I think is what they did. So you don't even have evenly dispersed light. It was just horrible, absolutely horrible. So a lot of mistakes were made there. And it's funny, we were at the BOE booth at CES this last year. BOE is doing a lot of, it's not like they're just waiting for Arcade1Up to answer their phone. They are into everything, making the most wild, incredible one-off monitors and displays for automotive applications and what have you. So I don't think they were really heartbroken necessarily by that. So that was a big miscalculation by Arcade1Up.
Yeah, I would say if you look at some of the problems that Arcade1Up are experiencing right now in terms of inventory supply, if you go back and look, that a lot of the cabs, that are stuck in inventory right now that they can't move, all come from that period. Because, and as much as they want to say, oh, well, it just had to do with oversaturation, yada, yada, yada. And listen, I'm not saying that I have any kind of power. It was probably other people, not me, because no one takes me seriously. But it didn't help that every single YouTube video that you probably watched, if you went and did some research about buying one of these cabs, said the monitors are terrible. That entire wave and generation of cabs got killed. It was 2 things. It was the audio issues they experienced from trying to do the headphone jack and the monitors. And it was just a full year of being, all their cabs were rife with serious problems. This wasn't, the cabs aren't very good, wood quality, or the buttons and sticks aren't very good. This is, the screen sucks, the audio sucks. So 2 of those things, major issue, which I think led to a bunch of cabs being left at the distributor they couldn't sell, just because that word was out there. That's my guess.
Well, and to your point, these are legit issues. This isn't the side art is peeling. This is video and audio. My God,
it's kind of one of the 4 most important things.
It's kind of paramount to the gaming experience, absolutely. And I think, but I think there were the defenders out there saying, "Listen, hey, at least they went this big. At least they went with the 19-inch monitor. Don't wait. You'll see. Very soon we'll have a second wave of XL cabinets with beautiful monitors."
Yeah. So I want to play this up. It's really important. And if you do hear a parrot in the background, I apologize. My son was crying there a couple minutes ago. My wife had to go in with him. So that might have been it. I'm very sorry if that's the issue there, guys. But the big reason why I wanted to bring this up and talk about this so importantly is it was these two cabs, NBA Jam, which I'll bring up on screen here now. NBA Jam.
Which one?
NBA Jam, Shaq Attack,
Jam.
Shaq Jam,
Woo!
Shaq Jam, and I mean, even look in the marketing pictures they took.
They couldn't even get the
Look, I mean, it's in the marketing pictures. Look, they took the bad angle of the cab.
It's a beautiful blue glow.
So, like, I mean, it was even in their marketing pictures. They weren't even trying to hide it. They were like, listen, man, you can get this dope new arcade we put together. Get ready for the launch. It's the screen is just really bad. It's just, ahead of time, full disclosure, screen is really, really bad.
Oh
So these are the only two XL that made it to major retail. So we're talking like Nebraska Furniture Mart, which apparently is the biggest retailer in the entire world, you know, with their displays for Arcade1Up. You've also got Best Buy, Walmart. They tried to go everywhere with these cabs at retail, and I think they underperformed. And the biggest reason I think they underperformed wasn't price, wasn't that people weren't interested in a bigger form factor. It was the goddamn screens. I think the screens really killed them going to retail. And I think it put a bad taste in retailers' mouths that made it hard for Arcade1Up to go back to the retailer and sell this product. Even though we loved it. We knew, oh, you just modify the screen, swap that out, you're good to go.
Well, and the price point too was still, we were in the heat, we were in the midst of the whole price war, the $5.99, $6.99. I think these were $6.99 when they initially came out. So you had that discussion internally. I mean, I think we just had T2 at that same $6.99 price point. It was a bridge too far for a lot of people. We were having those discussions on our shows, in our chats, you know, comment section. Everybody was, you know, sort of battle was raging. And then this was another way to point to something and say, hey, listen, this is why these things aren't worth this much money. How can you charge this much and you're going backwards on the monitors? We shouldn't have to mod the monitor, mod the screen to enjoy this $700 product.
Yeah. So then that was it. This is the only XL example that we got at retail, right? So then lo and behold, the next up is KI Pro. I don't have any visual aids for this, and that got marred in a lot of controversy as well. Like, there's a lot of problems with that. I mean, the timing on it coming out, being announced the same time that Killer Instinct 3/4 scale was finally releasing, and then the day that it launches for the pre-order at $1,000, they do a $299 sale on the 3/4 scale cabs. So I mean, like, people are like, So many freaking problems with it, but it's such a good cab. Outside of the controller is tough to get used to because it's this lower grade that might be more arcade accurate from what people say. Lower grade Samoa stick.
IL.
No, it's not an IL stick.
It is a Samuel stick. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But it's very lower grade. It's like one of the cheaper ones, right?
Okay.
So it is
Not
a Samoa stick, and then that was the big complaint. So you had all these like arcade purists saying, "Nah, you got to swap it out for IL." Yeah.
The problem with that cab, honestly, was
Price.
Pro.
Price.
Well, price, but Pro.
Yeah.
You call it Pro, coupled with the price, obviously. If you call it Pro, now you're going to have the scrutiny is going to be just magnified, right? It's like it better be professional. That's what you're claiming. So just having a better monitor doesn't count. It has to be top tier.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there. I think they were coming off a period where they did so well during the height of the pandemic that anything was possible. So they thought they could sell these pro cabs. And I don't know if this had anything to do with it. It was around the same time that iArcade announced they were doing their gold series. And I think there was a little bit of one-upsmanship between the two companies. Yeah. So they were like, oh, they're going to do it gold. Well, we need to do it pro. And like, I don't know why. I mean, like, they were completely different products. Always were, in my opinion. But I think there was a little bit of, you know, back and forth. KI, one of the best cabs they've ever built in terms of the build quality of the cab and all that stuff. The trim is terrible. The silver trim is just awful.
No reason for that.
Awful. And mine is all but peeled off now at this point. Like, I gotta glue it back on.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, no way.
Horrible. Stuff is shit. I don't know where they got it.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Well, but we saw a lot of it's a mixed bag, Mike, because you call it pro. That's an overreach, I think, in my opinion. But there was more than just the monitor and the upgraded controls. I mean, the sound too. I remember the image, the pictures of the whole subwoofer enclosures and everything. Is the sound that much better?
You didn't need that. I mean, yeah, Killer Instinct is a game where you want like really good quality sound, but I don't know if you needed that. I think a lot of Arcade1Up detractors, some of the stuff they say is 100% true. I think sometimes they listen too hard to the community. And you remember when the 3/4 scale Killer Instinct came out?
Oh yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh, the sound," because the sound was a big problem with Arcade1Up at the time. Justifiably so, because there was no goddamn bass. And it wasn't a problem because there wasn't a subwoofer or a fancy sound system. It was a problem because you screwed up the PCB trying to connect the headphone jack. That's the problem. So they went out of their way to put this crazy subwoofer system, and then again, one-upsmanship with iArcade and their JBL audio and stuff.
JBL, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's funny. They remember the 3/4 Ki wasn't even out.
No.
And then they announced the Pro. So there was this whole, do I wait, whatever, and then so finally some people that just, well, let's just take the plunge. Let's just go and buy this version I can't afford, and then you hear about the sound issues, and then you hear about some of the other quality control issues. Remember that marquee. The marquee was an issue. I mean, right off the bat, you had that washout, a all black marquee, but they had that horrible first or second generation backlight. I'm sorry, third generation. The backlight just wasn't that great. It was really, really rough. So that also added some, there was some additional trepidation about this $1,000 Ki Pro coming out too. It was just a horrible. They should have done literally any other title besides Ki for the Pro model.
Killer Instinct was a mistake, and there was some internal struggle going on there. Eventually, one day, all this stuff will come out, but apparently there was warring factions all along inside Arcade1Up. There was the NWO Black and White and the NWO Wolfpack, and these guys were constantly and I'm sorry for swearing here, guys, but they were intentionally fucking with each other, and the Killer Instinct Pro announcement was one of those situations where the marketing guy at the time, Bashir, basically just fucked with the other group and was just screwing with them, because the original Pro was supposed to be Street Fighter 2. And then somehow they convinced him to go with Killer Instinct, which I don't know if either one of them was the right product, but it's certainly Street Fighter would have made more sense with the timing compared to doing Killer Instinct when you haven't even released your 3/4 yet.
Or even Pac-Man. I mean, they eventually came up with Pac-Man, but you think as far as the safer bet, right, to maybe right the ship and bring in a good monitor.
Yeah. Really quickly, I just love this. Aloha. That made me so happy. Good to see you. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, I like stuff like that. Good stuff, man. So, yeah, here we go. I hear there are different houses in Arcade1Up. It's like gaming Hogwarts. I don't know if Darren Kane still watches, but yeah, he had to get in the sorting hat when he went there. Gryffindor. Apparently, it's internally back then. I don't know what it's like now, but it was a shit show. And you constantly had people fighting with each other. But the reason we're dragging up all this past is I want to show hey, Darren, good to see you. He probably can't comment on that, but if he wants to, it would be appreciated. So the reason why I'm bringing up all this past history is to really paint a picture at where we are now. There's still one more cab to talk about, but it's a story of how we probably got here. So they come out with this new product, XL, at retail, at a chance when you have a chance to release this really good new product that a lot of people would have been happy with. A lot of people still are really happy with. If you go to the Reddit forums, you follow any of these groups, they love the XL. They're dying for more XL. But the path forward seems a little tough because, let's be honest, Golden Tee 3D and NBA Jam maybe underperformed at the retail market because of the price point and because of the screen issues. Right. Then they really took a home run swing on doing a Pro Series online, which was, self-funded, direct to consumer, that they also are still trying to sell those cabs. They took a swing and a miss on because of marketing issues. So right there, it's possible that two paths for the XL cabs closed right there. You got the big retailers. They've got a bad taste in their mouth. Arcade1Up are maybe a little risk averse for doing this direct to consumer. So where do you turn if you can't do the normal retailers? You can't do direct to consumer. Well, let's try the club stores, right?
What could possibly go wrong? It's a exclusivity. It
Yeah.
is limited to fewer stores, less of a risk from the big retailers, right? Costco's and Sam's Club. So maybe more of a calculated thing. But sure, what could possibly go wrong?
So, Darren Kane, I wasn't asked for my vote of what pro to do first, but even I was like, WTF when the KI Pro was announced before the regular
Right.
cab was even out. I have no idea why it wasn't an MK or a Street Fighter Pro to start. That is by far, the right comment, the exact same thing we heard as well. Everybody was kind of completely caught off guard when that's the direction they took, and apparently it wasn't like a unanimous decision. I don't know how it ran up the chain and how they made that decision, but I will say it right off the start, maybe it was the wrong cab to start with. Like, I really had to question myself on. I like KI a lot, but like I had to question: do I want to go all in on this cab? Because this was an all-in moment.
Oh,
$1,000
absolutely.
US, right?
Yeah. $1,000 US. Called it a pro. I mean, there's a lot riding on it. You want no compromises when you're talking about pro. We were even a little hesitant because of all the stuff they added, right? There was a rug, there was a stool, there was actually a chair because it had a back. There was a chia pet. There was all kind of stuff that they added to it, wall placards and all kind of bumper stickers and crap. You're thinking, are they overcompensating for something? Are they trying to justify that price tag?
Yeah, it's like
It
they
was
just
just
bought
weird.
this really big truck, this really swanky Toyota Tacoma. No,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Nissan Frontier.
Nissan
Nissan
Front.
Frontier.
It's like
Yeah.
they got this Nissan Frontier, and they're really
Yeah.
trying to front.
Let me just put all this stuff on it.
So, anyways,
It's
what's your
shallow.
license plate number again?
We break for nobody. I don't.
So, yeah, I did want to bring that up and go in those directions to show that right now, here we are, current day. They've maybe burned bridges with retailers and distributors in that space. They maybe are a little bit gun shy about doing direct to consumer because of those experiences, right?
Right.
But before we go any further, we got to answer this super chat from Dave Schultz. Didn't Pac-Man XL do pretty well? It seemed to. I have all the XLs and Pro KI waiting patiently for MK. Dave Schultz, me and you are kindred spirits, my friend. I'm in the exact same situation. So thank you very much for the super chat. That's where we're going to talk about next. So the very next one they did was they went to Costco. And they asked Costco, they said, hey, maybe we can do this potential collaboration, try an XL cab. And lo and behold, we got Pac-Man XL. And here's the thing. This is a company that the one thing before this year. Oh, well, really quickly, I got to answer a question from my buddy Stock Jock here. Read this comment. I'm an old guy. I have money, and I have no nostalgia for KI, so they got none of my money. Yeah,
Fair
a lot of
point,
people.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Paul Minderman is doing the 19K Fox thing. I'm so desperate for XLs, I bought a Shack XL just to turn it into something
Just
else.
something else.
That's the 19K Fox move. You were gonna do it too. I would possibly look at doing it, getting an NBA Jam and turning it into a 4-player Turtles. If this is the end of the road with XLs and stuff like that, I would do a 4-player Turtles out of it, 100%.
I think so. I mean, a lot of work, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah. So, hold on, JT. Yeah. We're not saying we just want XLs. Like, this is not, we're not trying to exclude the people who want to continue their 3/4 arcade. That's cool. You guys do that. But this conversation is specifically about XLs. So, here we go.
XLs in addition to the 3/4.
Yeah.
We're not saying one or the other. Yeah.
No, we just want more XLs.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Costco in a second. I'm delaying this, but I also want to bring up the point that it's been slim pickings. Like, this is a very demanded product. Everybody's really excited about it. So the first year we got 2. Last year we got 1. And we'll talk about what's going to happen coming up. But every other line except for driving and shooting gets like 1 a year.
Yeah.
For people that are looking to, build up an arcade with XL cabinets, because there's people that would buy many a year, 1 a year, you're going to eventually turn people off. Like, if the plan is to continue going 1 a year, people are going to be like, screw it. I don't care. I'm not going to wait around for this. Like, I'm done with this hobby.
Right.
Not enough to keep us interested. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So Costco, they go to Costco, they come up with an agreement, and apparently they sold Costco 13,000 Pac-Man XL cabs. That's the number I heard. Wild, right?
That's a lot of cabinets. Yes.
That's a lot of cabinets. They sold Costco 13,000 Pac-Man XL cabinets, and this is a community that the one thing they complain about more than anything else from Arcade1Up is Pac-Man. Like the minute another Pac-Man release comes out, they say, yeah, great, another Pac-Man. Arcade1Up's a Pac-Man company. We have gotten to a point where it's almost impossible to get the community or fans, especially your staunch hardcore community, excited about a Pac-Man cab in any way. But yet, they release a Pac-Man XL at Costco, which is harder to get because it is slightly exclusive. There's a misconception there that, you know, if I don't have a Costco, I can't get it, because you can still order online. Even if you don't have a membership, you just got to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that you were completely out of luck if you didn't have a Costco membership. But they did it. They made people excited about a Pac-Man release. And the way they did it was releasing in the XL. And it was hugely successful. And we're going to get to the point where they blew them out for $2.99. We'll get there. So they were hugely successful initially. Like, honestly, people were like, love the cab. It's fantastic. One of the best cabs they've released in years. One of my favorite cabs I have in my collection now. I always got to have a Pac-Man, but by far, I'm good. This is it. This is it. This is the Pac-Man in all Pac-Mans. I'm good.
I've got an issue with my G panel, but other than that, the thing is just great. It really is. Really, I enjoy it a lot.
What's wrong with your G panel?
P-Dub stepped on it.
There's a rumor out there that the G panel is a myth.
Well, I don't. If you find it, it's a hell of a thing, Mike. Let me tell you. There was another problem too. They released a deluxe cabinet that looked exactly like it, except obviously a little smaller. You know, that was kind of an issue. But no, I think this is probably the definitive. I mean, as far as Arcade1Up is concerned, it's the definitive Pac-Man. The LED lights, the LED buttons were not necessary. Could have lived without those, absolutely. But it's a really good cabinet, which it just solidifies our passion for the XL line.
So there are some critiques about the actual emulation of the game. Apparently, there's some points like down in the corner where Pac-Man will blip, like he disappears for a second. So there's some, and some people are saying there's some lag. I don't know. I'm not good enough to really, quantify that. Like, I don't have enough experience with the original arcade to say. I've never noticed it. Like, if it wasn't pointed out to me, I never would have noticed it. Not in a million years. But then again, I mean, there's people better than me at Pac-Man, probably would have noticed it right away. So, but other than that, that cab is incredible. Sold really well. So much so the people were like starving looking for it. They were calling Costco saying, when's it going to be available? When's it going to be available? There were posts all over the place saying, when is it going to be here? When is it going to be here? Most Costco's sold out. Some Costco's didn't even get them. They couldn't even get to their place. Then other Costco's did blow out some at $2.99. Maybe it was because they had a bunch left and they probably couldn't sell them out in those areas. They didn't think it was worth the while to move them, so they discounted them. The other thing is, which we don't remember, is the stores costs a ton for stores to keep inventory for a long time. So somebody, coming up with a idea that, they couldn't sell them, so they had to sell them at clearance and stuff like that. Literally, there is some of the best stuff in the world at Costco that you can get a really good deal on just because they're like, you know what? We wanted this for 3 months. It's here month 4. We're going to mark it down to 30%. And that's the way it is because we're Costco and we don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
It's part of a bigger picture. They're looking at all of their inventory and all of the sales, company-wide, not just at your location. So there's more going on than just it ain't selling well.
Yeah. And I have heard this directly from Cyrus as well, Paul Mindem, and I can account on this. From what we're told, Costco was very happy with how Arcade1Up performed and how the Pac-Man XL performed, because if you remember, it's the only Arcade1Up thing they had last year. So the relationship continues. And if you guys aren't familiar, you should be. They're at Costco again right now. Obviously, they're looking at some smaller form factors. So right now you can get this Pac-Man 12-in-1 Partycade for $199. What were the other stuff there? There's also an NBA Jam Partycade. Of course, it just completely takes me out of all the Arcade1Up stuff. So much for being prepared, Fox. This is what it gets you. You can get the Partycade and the Infinity Game Board, plus the Star Wars pinball is there as well.
Machine,
So,
yep.
I mean, like, here's the thing. If they were unhappy with how the XL performed, how Arcade1Up performed, they would not have signed any agreements to go back and take additional products. So, it is what it is.
It is, and it's also a mixed bag, because how do we reinforce that, or how do we maintain or build that relationship with Costco? Offer them nothing. No more. You love that XL, you can't have any more.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So, right now, the only retailer that had a good experience, because remember, Pac-Man XL was really good. Really good screen, really good build, really good fan response. So, right now, they are stuck in a path of the retailer that will take XLs are Costco. I know for a fact that right now, Arcade1Up has already agreed to do another XL at Costco this coming year. Don't know what it is. I just know that there's a plan in place. We're at least getting one XL this year. Yay. One XL this year through Costco. There's a couple scenarios on what it could be. There's some good scenarios, and there's also the bleakest scenario, the dark timeline, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
An alternate 1985.
Oh, the dark timeline is not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good.
Oh my God, I'm not prepared for this.
So right now, the only way it's going to work is Arcade1Up has to apparently sell to club stores. And I see people saying, what about Sam's Club? There's a problem with Sam's Club. Sam's Club is a club store, but it's actually what company?
Walmart.
That's right. And Walmart and Arcade1Up, I don't know if their relationship is as good as it once was. From what I was told, Walmart's buyers changed in the course of the last 2 years, and I don't think they're as interested in home arcade. Big D has brought it up a bunch of times. Walmart's focus now is smaller stuff, so they're looking to get that's why Arcade1Up's still doing the peasant cabs, right?
Yes.
They want stuff they can throw on the shelf that they can sell for a cheaper price point, get it out the door. So I don't know if XL and Sam's Club will make sense. It seems like XL is going to be exclusive to Costco, unfortunately.
It is what it is. It's this is just any product line that runs as long as this has. Coming on 5 years, almost 6 years.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. They've had time to prove themselves, and unfortunately, they just really haven't. At least enough to justify putting it on a shelf. It's one thing to have it available on a website, but to put it on a shelf where you can go and get it, there's a whole different set of criteria to make that happen.
So the online marketplace might be the best bet. The only problem with the online marketplace is Arcade1Up, again, direct-to-consumer themselves probably won't do it because they get burned with KI Pro. But also, they have to have someone to store it and to buy it from them. And this is where this gets, and I've talked about this a million times. Who is Arcade1Up's consumer? Who does Arcade1Up sell to?
Retailers.
Mm-hmm. So Arcade1Up's not going to make a product for Fox. Arcade1Up's not going to make a product for Michael B. Arcade1Up's not making products for me, you, whoever. Arcade1Up is making products to sell to retailers. So in terms of an online retailer, does Amazon buy stuff from companies and then stick it in their own warehouse? How does that work? I'm not familiar on Amazon. But it would have to be some kind of distributor or wholesaler that's willing to buy from Arcade1Up and then sell on some kind of online retailer. I know here in Canada, the way I got my Street Fighter XL was this company, Spreetail, was selling it through Walmart. I don't know who Spreetail is. I think they're As Seen on TV, which in turn is a retailer, which is who Arcade1Up sells to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have nothing to add there because I don't know who they are either. I think their address is the University of Nebraska's janitor's closet, I believe. We traced it down to that.
Why does everybody keep saying this, that Miss Pac-Man's coming out? I will confirm to you, Miss Pac-Man is not the cab coming at Costco this year. I basically, that narrative's been out there a while. They're going to do Miss Pac-Man this year. And I love Charlie Chuck. I don't know where he's hearing it, but it's not Miss Pac-Man, 100%. They can't even do Miss Pac-Man Deluxe right. What makes you think they're going to do an XL?
You don't like the black cab? Come on, man. Come on.
They're completely against doing a Kickstarter. It's not like they're against, but they can't figure it out. And I think one of the big reasons they can't do a Kickstarter is there's a lot of risk and a lot of cost included with it. It's fine for them to do a Kickstarter where they can prepay for the cabinets, but the risk is they have to have warehouse space and inventory space to hold this stuff, and then the team in place to ship it out. And I don't think Arcade1Up has the infrastructure anymore to really do direct to consumer. I don't know if they ever did.
No, I think when they did, it was shoestring at best. And they've had some layoffs. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, some people are no longer there. So
some people.
All right. So if it's not Miss Pac-Man and we won't like it, then what is it? Well, virtually anything except an XL Casino. Okay. Paul, I got some news for you, pal.
Guess what, buddy?
So here's the thing. They have to sell to a retailer, and the only retailer right now is Costco. So the inside info that I got was they really wanted to do like a Star Wars XL this year. This was something that they have been trying to do for years. We know John was always a proponent of trying to get Star Wars XL done. So they went, and apparently they tried to sell Star Wars XL to Costco, and Costco said, no, we don't like it. Graphics don't look very good. We don't think people would be interested in it. So as much as it killed, that's one of the reasons I felt comfortable selling my Star Wars 3/4 scale.
Me too.
I didn't have room at the time, and it was just sitting there, and I was like, I'm going to sell it because I'll get the XL when it comes out anyways. I thought it would be a slam dunk.
I knew.
We all knew they've been working on it forever,
Absolutely.
so it was going to happen, right? But no, Costco didn't want it, and the rumor of what Costco actually came back and asked for that I heard, I don't know if this is eventually what they did.
Be gentle.
But you XL fans waiting for that next release, the new cab coming from Arcade1Up at Costco, the rumor I heard was they wanted another Golden Tee XL.
Babe, bring the bourbon. Thanks.
All of it.
All of the bourbon.
So there's good and bad with that. Not everybody got a Golden Tee. And for the people that didn't get a Golden Tee or, just didn't want to mess around with doing a screen mod, obviously they now have BOE monitors. So if Arcade1Up releases another XL Golden Tee, you're going to get one with a much better monitor. So there it is.
While you were talking, I brought up the Best Buy website in the U.S. You can still get the original Golden Tee XL released in 2022 for $700. I just don't know what they're doing. I don't understand it.
So that's the rumor right now. That's the cab Costco wanted Arcade1Up to make. We don't know if that's the final tally or whatever. We know that at the time when Arcade1Up went and pitched to them, we're assuming it's Star Wars because we knew that's the one they were working on. I don't know what else they pitched to them, but the counter was the Golden Tee. So that's it. Golden Tee. I don't know if it'll happen. We'll have to wait and see what eventually they worked out on, but that's part one. So say, for example, Golden Tee is the cab they're making. That's it. So honestly, for me and you, people that already have Golden Tee, we're probably not going to buy again. No. So, and if we only get one XL, there's no hope this year. But this is where competition comes in, and competition gets exciting because help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. We've always had this rumor burning in the background that New Wave Toys is possibly coming out with a bigger size cabinet that's going to act as competition to Arcade1Up. So they're going to be coming out with a new product that we're hoping is going to save the day. And we love New Wave Toys because they do such bizarre and wacky shit. I mean, who else is going to make a food fight cab, right?
Who would do such a thing?
Yeah. So Arcade1Up, they're very reliant on retailers. Mm-hmm. New Wave Toys have always been the renegades. They sell directly to the consumers. So the concept and idea of New Wave Toys doing something that's very consumer eccentric and, fun. Like, you get so excited about that. You see the cabs that they're making, like Missile Command, Berserk, Space Ace, Dragon's Lair, Cubert, Food Fight, 1942, and it just fills my heart with so much hope. And then Glenn is such a, cool dude, arcade hobbyist. You think they're working on something amazing, right? So that's the hope for us in the arcade space, waiting for bigger cabs, XL type cabs, large cabs that we can actually play and put in our collection. New Wave Toys is the new hope. Price point I heard was $650. That came from Stephen Haywood a while back. Would you be comfortable buying a New Wave Toys 5/6 scale cab, with the attention to detail, all the cool shit they do, $650 US? Are you okay with that?
As long as it has a metal coin door, which I know is going to happen because Shiloh will accept nothing less. Yeah, I think it's $650. You're not off current pricing of Arcade1Ups. Not really known for their super duper high quality. New Wave Toys is known for that. What's the title? I don't know. But as far as the price point and a larger cabinet, I don't think that's shocking in any way. Not really.
All right. So honestly, they're my big hope. I know what they do.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, there's a rumor out there about what cab that New Wave Toys is actually making.
What have you heard, Mike?
And I can't wait to tell you.
Oh, Mike. What are you doing?
We got a $4.99 super chat from JR. Tell Costco if it's Miss Pac-Man, I'm in. If it's Golden Tee, I'm out. Do you know anybody at Costco?
I know a guy. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. He was checking me out like at the end, and I was just like talking to him about it, and he had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah. All right. So $4.99 super chat from JR. Thank you very much, JR. I appreciate it, man. I don't think there's much of a market for Golden Tee for us, the hardcore enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. But then again, not all these companies, and we've said it a million times, not these companies are willing to, really work to their hardcore enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. So New Wave Toys, what we know so far is that Glenn, his capacity working on it, from what he's saying, is a new controller, one he's never worked on before. One of the early rumors that I've already talked about on my channel, so this should be no surprise, that they were considering doing was a cab that has been released by another company previously relatively soon. It's a company they've never done a 1/6 scale cab with. Any guesses?
No, I'm not going. I refuse to.
You refuse to?
I refuse to because I don't want to either overestimate or underestimate what's about to happen. The rumor
that I heard for New Wave Toys,
right?
And I hope to God I'm wrong, and I've said this on my channel already, was that the company that they were going to be working on was Incredible Technologies, and the new controller Glenn was working on was a larger trackball because New Wave Toys are also releasing a Golden Tee cab.
Stop it, man. What the hell are you doing, Mike?
A 5/6 scale New Wave Toys Golden Tee cab. So now we're in the dark timeline where the only two XL cabs coming up from two separate companies this year
ones we already own
might be Golden Tee.
Oh my God.
I hope that rumor is wrong. I mean, like, this is not coming from anywhere that's trusted. Guys, this isn't coming from Glenn. This isn't coming from Shiloh. This might be 100% unsubstantiated, but, like, this is the dark timeline I talked about because we may very well get a new Golden Tee XL from Arcade1Up and a New Wave Toys large-scale Golden Tee, which, it makes no sense because that doesn't seem like a New Wave Toys product. That doesn't seem like their heart, their soul, their passion. So I'm really hoping that that's the darkest timeline. That's the one we can avoid. That's the one where Biff Tannen has stolen the Gray's Sports Encyclopedia.
He's got the casino.
Yeah, he's got the casino. Yeah.
He's got everything. I just, there is an upside though, Mike. Think of all the money we're going to save. Because I ain't buying any of this shit.
Can you imagine though? Like it's like, to me, as being a huge fan of the XL cabs, and then having my only hope be New Wave Toys, to hear that both of these could be Golden Tee. Man, what a bummer! Like that stake in the heart of the home arcade community, right there.
When there's so many things out there that we want that are just ripe for the picking. I talked about last night on my show go back to the Data East well. I mean, they're giving those away in boxes of Cracker Jack.
Gmode. We can start a company tomorrow.
Get the license and go for that. Give me a Bad Dudes cap. I mean, do Burger Time again. Do Karate Champ. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, why would you go after something like that has just been done in 3/4 scale in XL? It's still available on the Best Buy website.
So this is a huge swing for New Wave Toys, right? They're not a big company like some of the other ones, right? They're not a huge company.
Huge commitment, right?
So maybe what they thought was they would go with somebody who's a little bit more, I don't know what the right term for it is, a little thing that's a little bit safer. The other rumor, this is the crazy rumor I heard, is that New Wave Toys were originally talking to Costco, and Costco wanted to get them to make a Golden Tee. Then all of a sudden Costco backed out because they had Arcade1Up on the line for a Golden Tee. And New Wave Toys said, screw it, we'll make it anyways.
I just picture an executive with 2 phones talking to each one. This guy, okay, who's going to give me a Golden Tee first? Come on, it's you, huh? That's so disappointing.
Not reputable here, guys. Like I am still holding out faith. I know what kind of company New Wave Toys is. I will tell you, if New Wave Toys do make Golden Tee Cab, say for example, that's it. Of course, it's not as exciting as what we normally anticipate from New Wave Toys, but it'll be the best goddamn Golden Tee you'll ever get. I have no doubt about that. That's the one to get. Like, no way it won't be, right?
Great quality of a thing that's already out there in multiple forms and fashions. That's horrible.
New Wave Toys and Arcade1Up going to duke it out for the 5 people left who want Golden Tee. It's just Cornercade at this point. It's just Cornercade. He wants the Golden. No, there are people that want the Golden Tee Deluxe. There are people that missed out on the 3/4. The 3/4 people looking to fill up their arcade that missed out on the original Golden Tee. They want that. That's a wanted cab in 3/4.
They want to keep that scale. Yeah, they want to keep their arcade that size. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, poor Jason. I hear the locusts. So, I again, I'm not saying that either of these are 100% reliable. I don't think that this is the dark timeline. My hope is that Arcade1Up and Costco figured out something else. Whether it's going to be arcade accurate, whether it's going to be something new, some kind of toy tie-in, I don't know. There's a whole new regime at Arcade1Up now, so we don't know what they're going to do. In terms of New Way Toys, as much as I hear this Golden Tee rumor, and I've heard it a lot, and for a long time, I just don't think that's a game they would put their time and energy into. That doesn't feel like a New Wave Toys product to me. Even in the 1/6 scale, I don't think they would ever do a Golden Tee.
I don't get it at all. I don't see that at all, especially when you look at their products. I mean, when you look at what they've released, I mean, the most boring thing they've released is the Coke machine. It's also a freaking fridge. So, I mean, if you're talking about just plain Jane, everything else is unique. It's different. It's arcade classics that really stand out. While Golden Tee is very, very fun, it's super just like casual gamers can play forever. It's not something that I want to have on my desk. Like, wow, that looks unique and different and special.
This is the one. This is what I have. If I got anything if I could get anything I wanted, and I know people would probably say the same thing that you said earlier. We've already had centipedes. Mm-hmm. I have no faith Arcade1Up will ever make another centipede cabinet that has a vertical screen. I have no faith in that.
I agree.
So therefore, I just don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care about Arcade1Up making centipede because they'll never do it justice. It's because of what they do. They have to have like 12 to 14 games in it. When it comes to vertical games on that'll work with that controller schematic and work with that they only have like 4 or 5, and it's the rule 80-20 rule. They're going to have to go with a horizontal screen to accommodate the rest of the game. So they will never, ever, ever, ever do another centipede with a vertical screen. So my only hope is this New Wave Toys large thing. It's the one I miss the most. Like, honestly, right now, as much as I love a bunch of different arcades, like, I want centipede. I want centipede more than anything else from New Wave Toys.
Beautiful if they do it. If they do it correct, which you know they will. They'll be as accurate as possible. It would be gorgeous. It would be absolutely awesome.
That's number one on my wish list. Probably not the most popular, but if I had to say arcades that you would absolutely have to have from the 80s, like 100%, like King of the Arcades. It's a short list. Like, you need a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
As much as we've got it in spades, you need a Pac-Man. But right there after that, I think Centipede is one of the most important and enjoyable games. My wife loved it. I loved it. I hate the fact I got rid of my original Arcade1Up because it had that vertical screen. It was great.
Yeah, I know. There was smaller games lists, but they were very focused on games that were compatible with the control scheme and the layout of the monitor.
Yeah. So, anyways, Darkest Timeline, guys.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. That's not what we're seeing. We're not going to get double golden teed here. There's no way it's going to happen.
The double T.
Dear God. So let's move away from Golden Tee and New Wave toys, move back to Arcade1Up and their XL cabs. Mm-hmm. So there's another problem with this, and this is the really tough one for me. Is I'm one of the biggest Arcade1Up XL fans there is. Like, I'm one of the biggest proponents. I talk about it all the time. Completely changed my entire arcade to accommodate XLs. That's my focus. But where do I live?
Canada.
I live in Canada. And right now, with the current setup, any product that goes to Arcade1Up, Costco Arcade1Up, does not come to Canada. That's always been an issue. Whenever there's Costco exclusive, we don't get it here in Canada. Pac-Man XL was the first example of this. I told you guys, I said, like, I'm screwed here. And lucky enough, like, they sent me a review cab, but otherwise I was going to have to get someone like you to go pick it up and then figure out how much,
you at the border.
$300 in shipping it would cost to get it to me here. That was the only way for me to get it. Mm-hmm. I do have some contacts in the retail space, and they recently had a meeting with Arcade1Up. I'm never going to ask about which titles they talk about and stuff like that. That's inappropriate. Plus, it's almost impossible for me then to do YouTube if I know, right? I don't like that stuff. I don't like being put in that situation, so I'll never ask that. The one question I did ask, I asked two questions. I said, how was it? Was it good? I'm not going to give an answer on that. But the other question I asked is, was there anything said about Arcade1Up XL? And the answer I got was, it wasn't talked about at all. It's almost like the product line is dead. And I don't think it's dead. I just think it's dead here in Canada. I just don't think it's ever going to come to retail again. And the reason for that is Canada's small potatoes. Like, even with the AtGames stuff, we finally got the AtGames Legends Pinball here in Canada. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it makes up such a small percentage of AtGames overall sales. It's like a blip on the radar. So just because a retailer here in Canada would be willing to take something on doesn't mean they'll come up with some agreement to do it. Right. So I think where it's Costco exclusive, that's a U.S. thing. Canadian retailers can't touch it. So that's why it's a dead conversation. So for those of us here in Canada that want to be, pro Arcade1Up XL, I'm afraid I got some bad news. We're just not getting it.
I don't know. It really sucks, man. It really sucks because you're so close. It's so far away.
Yeah. So my only hope really is New Wave Toys at this point, because they ship to Canada, at least. I'll be able to get it. It's just, we really got to hope we don't get double teabagged. Double golden teabagged. Thank you very much, Jasper Muriel, for the super chat.
Golden teabag. The double golden shower.
We don't want
shower.
that.
Bag.
So
well, no.
For Canadian fans, like I'll tell you that, like, my heart sunk. My heart absolutely sunk when they told me that, and it did lead to some of the purchasing decisions I've made recently. I was like, well, I'm not getting a Street Fighter XL. I'm not getting a Mortal Kombat XL. Might as well just buy these goddamn deluxes while they're on sale. So,
well, if you watch my channel, anybody in the chat, you've seen. I've also gone down this path because I have no faith in the XL line growing, moving forward. And your news is not helping me. It's not giving me any more hope. So, yeah, I think at this point now we kind of need to look at what we have, because I think that's all we can count on.
Carl Young, yeah, believe me, we've all been in that situation for a long time. Believe me.
Yes.
Nicholas Stewart, I half expected Michael B to say they were making Pac-Man at New Wave Toys. Oh, no. Arcade1Up. Arcade1Up is essentially a Namco company. Like, yeah, I wouldn't worry about anybody else making a Pac-Man or Pac-Man XL.
Yeah, that's not going to be a problem.
But I do want to end this discussion with some positives. So as much as what I've heard sucks. That's the dark timeline. I keep seeing all this positive stuff. I keep seeing other YouTubers that may have contact with Travis or, other contact with Arcade1Up, other people keep saying, you guys know what's all happening. We're getting Star Wars XL, Mortal Kombat XL, and Street Fighter XL this year. I'm like, well, they obviously know something I don't know. And I will openly tell you, a while ago when that rumor came out, remember I wrote you about it? And I said, what's this new logo, Mortal Kombat logo that's showing up online? Turned out to be peasant cabs, but I made a video, are we getting a Mortal Kombat XL? And I did put that feedback to Travis and Cyrus, and I said, yeah, people were really excited about the concept of Mortal Kombat XL. And Cyrus was like, don't worry, guys, more XLs coming. Like, he was very adamant about it. So even though, like, we see this dark timeline and, like, it seems hard, Arcade1Up does hear the community and does seem to want to make these, and we're being told there's more on the way. Plus, you've got all these other YouTubers saying that it's only a matter of time. So you gotta think there's some positive in the future, right?
Yeah. It's another company making something else. I would like to stay positive, but I can't deny what we're seeing. Rumors, speculation.
Innuendo.
I that stuff. It's very innuendo, sexual in nature. It's all very fun. It's enjoyable. I do like. And back in the early days of this hobby, discussing this stuff, it seemed like there was no limit. Right? Who knows what they could do in the future? Our universe is contracting. Right? It's coming together. It's collapsing on itself in a way, and we're just not seeing like anything. And I'm looking at prices going back to. You're asking the same price for something that was brand new 3 years ago. It's odd. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not seeing any stability out there in the market. So my outlook is dark.
Well, you've been bleak for a while. You gradually turned into an Arcade1Up hate channel so easily.
The turn to the dark side is easy.
And Nicholas Diorio says people were getting really excited when they saw Pac-Man XL and thinking they were replacing their machines maybe by 2040. Nicholas, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But it was even before Pac-Man XL. When we first saw the first XLs, we were talking about that. There were people in the community like, I'm getting rid of all my cabs, replacing them all with XLs. And it just never went in that direction for whatever reason. And mostly, I think the ones that I put out here today.
Absolutely. I mean, I honestly, I got rid of Star Wars, my 3/4 scale Star Wars, because I just knew Star Wars XL was coming out.
We thought it was a slam dunk. Like the way that it was explained to us, like
absolutely.
Everything was done. The ink just had to dry on the contract. All done. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
There's definitively one XL coming from Arcade1Up this year, at least. There is an agreement in place with Costco. They're going to at least release one this year, I know of. Plus, Cyrus says there's more coming, so we will see. Right?
I think it's gonna be Shuffle Golf. I think that's what. That's another.
Paul says I'm still getting rid of my 3/4 cabs. Now it's just out of spite. and Charlie agrees too. XL or bust. For the people that want like the smaller space, I get it. They take up so much less room. In the space in my meager arcade I have right now, the same space I used to have 6 arcade cabinets fits 4. So like I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's the difference here. Yeah.
Garage Gamer, no, it's not going to be Miss Pac-Man. If it is going to be Miss Pac-Man, it definitely will be black, though, because for some reason, they're like, no one wants original art. That's just stupid.
Nobody. That's silly.
Yeah. And Dragot makes a really good comment here, and it's 100% true. XL's made the 3/4 look like baby cades. Yeah. I will openly tell you, like, when I didn't have my XLs downstairs and I had just put my T2 and my Street Fighter 2 Deluxe in my arcade, I was like, oh man, they're so beautiful. But now that they're both in there, I'll turn around from playing like a game on my KI Pro and then play on Street Fighter. I'm like, this is awesome. But man, it's so much smaller. Like something about it.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
You kind of need to have one or the other.
I don't know. Some people are totally fine with having both in their arcade. Arcades had different shaped arcades. I don't know. But like, there's just something about it. I had a comment today. Someone put on a post about me saying, I wish Street Fighter XL was, I wish Street Fighter 2 Deluxe was XL. Yeah. He said, I have real arcades. These are fine in the 3/4 size. And I was like, Why you hating, bro? Some of us just want bigger cabs.
I think I have a mix, right? I have some 3/4. I have XL. I have real arcades. And yes, I mean arcades had different sizes of cabinets, but I think that the XL fits next to a real arcade so much better. It's not such a huge leap to go down to an XL. If you go from a real arcade to a 3/4, it's a huge leap.
It's a big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah. It's not Miss Pac-Man XL. I don't know.
I think it's Miss Pac-Man. That's what I think. Well, one side black, one side blue. That's what we're getting at.
If it's Miss Pac-Man, I will laugh because I was completely wrong. But I was told no.
Well, you also thought Shaq was going to give us NFL Blitz, so there is that.
Stringer Films, $2 super chat. All 1-Up XLs can be found in Home Depot's MDF file.
He's right.
And Charlie Chuck says the XLs are close to Nintendo's cab size. Yeah. And Nick Arcade, this is the one I probably want more than anything else.
Yes.
TMNT XL.
Yes.
I love Turtles. I want to see it happen. We'll have to see. Yes, I just got a message from Chris Nesbitt when the sale was on last week, because I picked up my third Arcade1Up 3/4 scale cab in like
look at you
2 weeks.
Right. Nice.
So I got Mortal Kombat Deluxe when it was on sale for $4.99, so I was pretty excited about that. He just got to go ahead to get Mortal Kombat Deluxe as well from his partner, so good for him. Yeah,
good deal.
Yeah. Anyways, I think I want to end the conversation there. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this rumor about New Wave Toys is wrong. Apparently, we're going to find out this week. I don't have any real inside information, just rumors, speculation. So we're all, still open-eyed, waiting to see it happen. And hopefully this rumor is wrong, and hopefully it's cool. But also be prepared for it to be something we don't expect. None of us know for sure they're actually making a large-scale arcade. So if they come out with something else, just, go into it hopeful, but like, I don't want another situation where they get a wave of negativity like they got with the pinball cab. I think people like me who got excited about the unrealistic idea about,
playable.
Is it playable? 1/6 scale pinball really set them up to fail, and I don't want to do that this time. As much as I want to, be excited for this as a fan, I also don't want to be a YouTuber that creates this crazy concept that it's 100% coming. They're doing like XL cabs. I don't know if they are. So hopefully it's cool, guys, and hopefully it's something exciting, but don't, start writing hate messages on New Wave Toys fan pages, because it's not. If it's just another 1/6 scale cab with a unique controller, just, be like, oh, cool. Hopefully one day they do make XLs. I don't know. Louis P says, it'd be cool. Playable is key.
Playable is key. Playable is key. Playable is playable, non-playable is a legit complaint. It's a legit concern.
Yeah.
But you can't say that they're not taking a chance. They're not really trying something here. And I think it's but for those of you that don't like it, I get it. I understand. Totally acceptable. I get it. But for me, it was enough to take the chance on. Rip Home Arcade. Never. It came before Arcade1Up. It will exist after Arcade1Up.
Yeah, and with Arcade1Up, it's fine for us to look at all these issues, but none of us know. None of us are there working at Arcade1Up, despite what people say. None of us actually work there.
Even those that work there don't know.
Like, honestly, like, as much as we want to say, like, we're only going by our history and what we've experienced for the last, like, 4 or 5 years and what we've learned about it. I mean, when we first came into this hobby, like, I was probably the most, like, I don't know what I would call it, the most green person in the world. I was like, anything is possible. And then after you get a chance to experience and learn more about it, you get a little bit more jaded, a little bit more realistic. So that's really the term.
And a lot of that was based on something. They were making cabs. In the early days, they were mocking up everything you can imagine. I'm still seeing images of stuff that they were mocking up back in the day, full-on 3/4 scale representations of some wild-ass stuff. And that fueled everybody's excitement about it. And I just we're not seeing that. We're seeing a leak for the one thing that just came out. We're not seeing behind the scenes stuff of they're trying different things, they're doing this or doing that. So that's why some of our excitement is tempered for sure.
Well, Stringer, you weren't here for that. We had that conversation, right? Like, why would they make? We don't think the retailers, that Arcade1Up only makes stuff that the retailers get them to make, and we think right now that the retailers are a little gun shy to really order anything from Arcade1Up, and especially with the bad experience from the original XLs, I don't think they're really excited to do it. So, yeah. One other positive thing. So there's another. I don't know what you would call this. There's another player possibly in the community that might still be a hope. If you ever watch 19K Fox's show, and there's a couple proponents that really...
I don't recommend you should.
Every single show, this is basically the summary of every single show. Arcade1Up bad, Unico good, and then John D good. So, we keep hearing about these rumors about John D possibly coming out with something. Is it possible that John D is coming out with something that... might be a competitor to Arcade1Up? You think so?
I think that I think John D is very, very. He's a passionate person.
Yeah,
and I do not think for any. There's no Elseworld timeline or conversation that exists where he's not trying to do something in the home arcade space, and I think that he is working diligently to facilitate this hobby moving forward. I think that's all I can say.
So, Stringer Films, here's the flaw in your logic. You still think Arcade1Up has warehouses.
They ain't got no stinking warehouses.
They're all gone. They closed their warehouses, sold everything
All
to
of
Bobby
them.
Boo. That's not a lie. They did. They closed all their warehouses and sold it all to Bobby Boo.
They're done. The dude got $15 cabs.
Yeah. So there's this possibility John D is doing something. I don't know exactly what John is doing. No one really does at this point.
Right.
I've got a theory. My theory is that John's not really making a competitor product so much as he's making a competitive product. You could argue whether or not it's going to be competition or not. But I don't think that John is going to offer a similar product to either what New Wave Toys or Arcade1Up is doing. That's my theory.
I think he'll work with someone who's trying to do something in the space. I don't know that John D's not working at home with the saw, cutting wood, making something. I think he's going
You obviously haven't been following his TikToks.
No.
Everybody's
He's cutting wood,
working for
but it's
the
not...
weekend.
He's sweaty with the saw.
With the hammer.
How you doing?
And then he's having arguments with Endless One-Up about the wood quality.
It's real wood. It's real wood.
So there's a look, Ralphie knows. He helped Bobby Boo load the cabinets onto the U-Haul.
Yes, he did. Exactly.
So I don't even know why people were like, oh, ThinkUp didn't have a non-compete and stuff like that. ThinkUp was an independent company. They were a third-party developer that was basically doing the designs for the cabinets, the form factors and stuff like that, and the concept behind it. Right. So one of the other things to talk about is ThinkUp. ThinkUp's another possibility and a tie-in with John D. They're the original creators. They're very passionate about spelling that point out in the video they did for Shuffle Golf.
Yes, they were.
Had the cabs in the background. And you talked about this on your show last night, too, right?
Yeah. Well, they led with it. That's why I think it's like a shot across the bow of Arcade1Up.
And not necessarily.
In a way.
Like from a business perspective, they're putting themselves out there and attaching to what was a successful brand to immediately give legitimacy to what they're doing. They can't just say, hi, I'm Jerry for ThinkUp, and I had this cool idea, guys. So, they have to tie it to something legitimate they were doing or something that was successful in the past to add credibility to their new concept they're doing that's really in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
John D bought a few warehouses and is busy reskinning. That's what John D's new cab is going to be. It's going to be all reskins. Arcade1Up.
Filling stickers.
It's going to have Steve Aoki everywhere.
Everywhere. It'll be unintelligible. You won't know what the hell's going on.
Thanks, Stringer Films. Here's your $2. Oh, Jerry B, I know I've kept everybody waiting for this. I swear I'm going to finish up with this thing in a bit. I'm like John Oliver. This is my main topic. Maybe I should have got through the rest of the stuff first. So yeah, so anyways, we'll see what happens. Arcade1Up definitely doing at least one XL this year. And according to Cyrus, like, when I gave him that feedback, the community really wants this. He said lots more XLs coming. I don't have a timeline on that, but it's not a dead concept. Unfortunately, it sounds like it might be dead in Canada, which sucks for us, but you guys should still be getting some. And hopefully, if Arcade1Up can't produce more than one a year, competition gets in and hits the need of the niche, the demand from the niche community, and we get new wave toys, rocking out some bigger size cabs, not Golden Tee. And then maybe, John D's got something in the works. Maybe ThinkUp's got something in the works in the future. This is the point I got confused on and caught off guard. They hit their goal for Shuffle Golf.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a success. So now, maybe because that's a success, and once that launches, they can work on other projects. Maybe a competitor piece to Arcade1Up. We'll see.
Yeah, they've exceeded their goal by $2,000.
All right. So, Fox, stick with me here now. I know you're not Canadian, and you're not the biggest,
and
you're not the biggest digital pinball fan, but I do got to talk about this.
Eight games. AT games?
AT games. We got to talk about AT games.
Gotcha. And the balls that are pins?
And the balls that are pins. So I promise. So I do want to bring this up. Let me see if I can get to the right tab. Make sure all my sensitive messages are down that other people will share and try to create controversy over. But maybe it's on this one, I think. Yeah, here it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's the comment from Chris. I got to put that down. Ryan James Wispinski. He's not the only person that's put it up. The AtGames Legends 4KP, after a very long time, have finally hit the western shores of Canada, arriving from, I think they're coming from China. They've finally hit the western shores. So right now, the farthest we've seen them is the Alberta region. They're currently available. So if you had a pre-order in with the brick to get your AtGames Legends 4KP with a pickup at one of their distribution centers, you should have already received your call. If not, expect a call later this week. It usually takes about, anywhere from 5 to 7 days after they hit the distribution center in order for... Didn't work, Fox. Didn't come up. I'll show anybody anyways.
Oh, damn it.
So it usually takes about, I think it's like 5 to 7 days. So for those people that didn't have an option for pickup in the distribution centers, this week you should be getting notice that you can go to the store to pick up your cabinets. Awesome. If you're on the eastern sideline, we were told that it should take about 7 days, another week from when the West Coast got them till they hit Eastern Canada. So sometime this week, they should start showing up in distribution centers here in Eastern Canada, which means about another week if you have a pickup in store for you to get it. So it's exciting. After a very long time, the AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP is finally here. Oh my good God. Mystery Encoder's here.
Yes, he is.
I told everybody Mystery Encoder last week. It's good to see you, by the way, that we were really excited because I got a new T2 cab and you were working on a mod, but I found out during P-Dub show earlier, it's actually not you who's working on the T2 mod. It's somebody else. So thanks for letting me know that. I also have an AtGames 4KP coming, but I will tell you I'm probably not going to mod that. Don't be mad at me.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm listening to this in the background. It's like you're an arcade newscaster. Well, Mattingly gets up in the third. He's at 2 strikes, 2 balls. And here's the pitch. And, just a little bit outside. So we're now at a full count.
The 20, the 25.
So anyways, these are coming all the way across Canada. So for you people that are getting these for the first time, one of the things that you may want to take advantage of is there's a new official AtGames Legends 4K fan page. This has been set up with the people that were formerly the unofficial AtGames fan page. They have got some support from AtGames, but not direct support. None of the moderators are AtGames employees. The AtGames employees are in the chat, can respond to you, but the moderators are just fans of the product, and they've got some support. They do some contests and stuff like that. The big reason to go in there is they're actually getting information even before like the influencer Skype chat is getting information right now. So for all the latest news and notes on your AtGames Legends 4KP product, you want to go to the official AtGames Legends 4K fan page. Also check out the featured tab where, if my internet ever works, you're going to get most of the latest news and notes, the highlighted posts, including what you want to do for your day 25 update, which is going to be your initial update when you can get in, help with loading up your new pinball packs if you ordered some during the initial launch, or if you ordered some during the last National Owners Day. I know I ordered everything on the last National Owners Day. I didn't really expect to spend that much money, but I dropped like $400 US, which worked out to like $560 Canadian.
Dear God, man.
Yeesh. But I'm pretty excited about it, right? So anyways, guys, check out this fan page if you want. The other thing I want to make sure you're aware of here in Canada, if you do have any problems with your gear, hold on. If you do have any problems with your AtGames products, there's always a bit of confusion because the first response is you always want to contact AtGames directly, right? Like, obviously, that's what you're used to doing. If you buy a product, you want to call their customer support.
AtGames. But in Canada, not the case, right?
In Canada, not the case, because AtGames actually have no presence here in Canada, like, at all. I don't know what it is, but you can't buy products directly from AtGames. They can't service Canada at all. So what they've done is they work with your distributor, PMP Games, PMP Distribution, or whatever it's called, and they actually have all the excess parts. They're going to offer the support for the product. So the first call actually is to the brick if it's within the warranty, if it's in the warranty period, or if you got the extended warranty. Your first call should be to the brick, and then after that, PMP will handle like any issues you have with your product. They'll take care of you. AtGames, they can't help you. I don't know what it is, but all the support is going to be through PMP or the brick. So keep that in mind. It's, if it's something with a digital code, yeah, AtGames can help you. But if it's something with a physical product, you guys are going to want to contact PMP Games. So I'm excited. Hopefully I'll have mine within like a week or 2 weeks. I've got my games ready and I'm ready to get up and running.
That's going to be awesome. I know there's nothing worse than like jonesing for something and seeing everybody else in other countries getting it and you can't get it, or there's this delay and you got to wait. So yeah, I'm excited for everybody who's a big fan of this product to get it. I am excited. I plan to get one. I haven't quite seen anything that's moving the needle for me just yet, but I'm gonna get one.
Oh, I saw something the other day. It made me pretty excited.
So talking about the VPN?
Yeah. So you can see in the background here, my intention was to always keep my Legends HD because I got the buy stuff back box. That thing is incredible. It's got that long and wide DMD. So for me, where the new DMD is like small second screen, which is great for the games they have in-house and great for more modern stuff. The DMD, like we saw on the Pinball FX games, is going to be a little small on it. So I was like, I got the old back box. I'm good to go. I'll stick with that.
Sure.
But I watched somebody play some VPX on this the other day. They were playing a Die Hard table. And then I saw somebody else playing like Guardians of the Galaxy Stern through Visual Pinball as well.
Right.
And I mean, like, I'm looking at a goddamn picture on Facebook, but like just the quality of it, I was like, I can't tell that's not a real pinball machine. Like, it looks insane.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can't wait to try out what VPX looks like in 4K and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about that. So even though I was like, I only need one gaming PC hooked up to my original, and that's what I'm going to do all my VPX on. Seeing that today, I was like, oh.
Do you think you're going to abandon the original and just go all in with the 4K?
I don't know. I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed from what I saw. It'll all depend once I get my hands on it. The other thing I'm really happy about is I still have my HD. So when I do my video and like my comparison videos and reviews and stuff like that, I can have two of them side by side while I'm doing my review. So pretty excited about that. So very excited for the 4KP to get here in the next couple of weeks. Very anxious. And I've been playing like just the normal AtGames tables. I got to get my PC out of the basement and back up here and connected to this, but I've been practicing in some of the tables, so my skill level has grown quite a bit from when I first got this thing, so we'll see.
If it's above mine, then you must be at least mediocre.
Yeah. See,
I'm really bad.
The thing that fascinates me, like I bugged you pretty hard. Like when the
Oh yeah,
Sam's Club sales were on, like they were selling
you're
these
giving me
ALP
a hard time.
HDs
Yeah,
for like it was like $300,
$2.99.
253.
Yeah,
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 and I was like,
yeah.
Fox, what are you doing? You even sent me a picture one time where you had it picked up in your cart, and you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what it has been. I don't know why.
But like, this is what I'm fascinated by. Like, you're obviously as too much to be in Justin's chagrin. I don't think you're ever going to buy a real pinball machine. I don't think you'll ever make that jump.
I never will. No. I just don't. I don't. Sadly, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just not. I'm not. I've got a big. I actually today I pinned the deal. Today I have a big purchase coming, but it's not pinball. You know what it is, but it's not. I just don't think that I'm as much of a fan of real pinball. But I'm telling you, mark my words, I will get a 4KP soon.
But here's what I don't understand.
Right,
To me, it seemed like the perfect product for you, not necessarily just for the games AtGames has, because like you might like them, you might not like them. Like here's the crazy thing: like most of the games that I find run the best on the Legends HD are the really old electromechanical pinball games, like Shooting the Rapids. I've always got back there. Man, that game is fantastic.
That's so fun.
And like the older games look incredible on this. But what I always wonder with you is, why wouldn't you just get it? Like, especially at like 250 or 300, whatever the price was.
Right.
You stick like a pretty like small PC in this, and like you've got B there. B is a savant. I had a huge problem with my VPX, and like he remoted into my PC and set me up. B could have set you up, and you would have had everything. Like literally everything through VPX running through OTG. Like
If you know,
to me, it just was crazy.
But if you know anything about me, I squander opportunities, Mike. It's just what I do. That's what I do. Honestly, I think it was because of my arcade growing different focuses, and then we were moving.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a much better place now, and I have a spot picked out for it. So once that IP shows its face, I think I'll be ready.
Attack from Mars didn't do it for you?
Close.
Oh, so good.
No, it's not bad. It's
so
not bad.
good.
But I'm having fun sitting back and watching all these issues be worked out and ironed out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's one of these platforms that it's always going to change. Like one of the examples I'll make is the Gottlieb games. Like Gottlieb was on the pinball machine right from day one, and there were always people that were like, "Oh, it's okay," or "It's this, it's that,"
right.
And it was always like deemed to be, I don't know, like not as good as some of the Zachariah tables in terms of quality and stuff like that. Fast forward like 2 years after like the table was out, they actually came. And they were like, yeah, we're going to do this Gottlieb update. And like, it just completely reinvigorated my interest in the Gottlieb tables and stuff like that. You look at the experience that they're having with Pinball FX, and I haven't played it myself, so I can't tell you how bad or good it is right now. I don't have a lot of concern that this is not something they're going to continue to work on, and that Zen Pinball are going to continue to work on, get it worked out, and make it work right.
Well, and like I said, I don't own one, but I never got the feeling that the HD, the original, was something they gave up on. It seemed to constantly be evolving.
Well, here's the other thing too, and I know Jason's in the chat, and he'll disagree with me because I've seen him in my chats and a couple others saying that AtGames are going to give up on HD pinball within the next couple of years. I can't say that, but I know that the roadmap right now is they want to continue with the HD pinball, and they look at it as two different product lines. So they see HD as like your economy line, kind of like a Peasantcade, and then 4K to be the more deluxe, like Mercedes-Benz line.
Okay, so you have
the intention is to continue with it. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. There's enough of a price difference there to where you offer something for everyone. But even up until the 4K was announced, they continued to improve and develop that product. I mean, it wasn't like it came out and then they had a few patches and that was it.
No. Yeah. AtGames has such a different model than Arcade1Up. AtGames has a closer model to what iArcade did, really. So iArcade or AtGames aren't just releasing the machines. Like, I know there's been a lot of critical people on them about like the machines saying they're never going to sell that many machines. I don't think the focus is on AtGames selling that many machines. AtGames obviously wants to sell a bunch of machines, but really the focus is on, hey, we're just going to sell a bunch of DLC and stuff like that,
Yeah,
game
yeah.
packs and stuff like
All
that.
the
That's where the
packs.
money is. I mean,
think
that was
so.
this weekend, the $600 I dropped.
Well, that's what you do, right? That's the gateway
Yeah.
drug. You have the platform, and then it's all the DLC because it's just so easy to make those purchases.
Yes, and this is what I'm talking about with Jason. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Jason, what I've seen this. With Natural History 2 and 3 in the rear pack this year, I can't see them going beyond that with any Gottlieb, Zachariah, nor Zinn. So if they do support HD Pinball, it'll be very minor titles. I've heard the opposite from the man himself, PK, but 100% I understand where that would come from with the fact that Pinball FX is not being offered on the HD tables. I know a lot of people are upset about that, original owners. There's a reason it's not being offered. It's not because they're just like, no, you got to buy the newest best to get them. It's like they literally won't work on the HD table. It's not powerful enough to
It can't
run them.
run it. Right, right.
I mean, they're still optimizing it to work on the 4K table. How do you think it's going to work on the HD tables?
It's just not going to happen. Yeah. But you can always have that option to plug in a PC and go hog wild, right?
Well, that's the great thing about it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you don't care about the 4K and the surround sound feedback and all that stuff, just buy a Legends HD. Honestly, get the buy stuff
Right.
back box. You got choices. Hook a PC up to it, and for me, I think that would be a good entry point for you to get more into pinball. If the guys, I know they desperately want you to buy it. They want you to be them. They want you to get right into that pinball lifestyle they're into now, right? But
I know they do.
See, I think you're more like me. You're more like, you still want to be buying these toys and stuff.
I do.
Right?
I
And,
do,
like,
yeah.
I felt terrible. I'm going to be honest with you. This past year, like trying to save up money and like holding
it
myself back,
sucks.
I felt awful.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, being stupid and just buying a bunch of stuff for the last little while, best I felt in a long time.
It's so fun. I know it's
It's-
just it's only skin deep like beauty, but I didn't give a damn. I was buying this stuff up, and I've got this one big purchase. You know what it is. I'm saving up for it. It's killing me not to just run out
yeah.
and just snag a couple things, especially when you mod. These projects are much more expensive than the actual thing you're just buying. So you want to okay, I gotta get this and get the artwork going and boom boom. I can't do that. I gotta pace myself. It's called discipline. I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. It was horrible. It's horrible. I just couldn't go out and buy what I want.
Responsibility.
And it
sucks.
always felt so good disappointing you guys. Like I tell you, I'd be like, oh yeah, bought the Steam Deck OLED, and everybody'd be like, Mike, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm living life.
Can't stop, baby. I'm a machine. I know.
But like honestly, like to me, it's just the freedom that machine back there gave me for pinball. Like just being able to hook up a PC to it and then explore the world of visual pinball, even Pinball FX, playing through cabinet mode and stuff like that. Fox, you don't have to be the biggest pinball fan, but if you can get in at this at the right price point and like get a decent PC hooked up to it that's going to run what you want, it just opens up a different world. What I haven't experienced yet, which I'm really interested to see,
Right.
is the difference that the SFX kit is going to make. I hear so much good stuff about that, especially integration
there, right?
with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's one of the only drawbacks I see with the ALPHD. Like I own a real pinball machine, and I've owned several, and well, two, and like
More than
obviously it doesn't replicate the real thing. No matter how good the experience is, it doesn't replicate the good thing. But if you can do something like what they did with the SSF, any other like thing that you can add in is going to make such a big difference of getting to that point of feeling the mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you feel the lines are blurring with the what's the type, the metamorphic, the Princess Bride table, or the actual pinball table that is also half digital playfield? Do you feel like something like that in the 4K, the lines are, it's not as simple as digital and real anymore?
I fully support like what AtGames is doing here in the retail space, offering a how do I say this, competitive entry level retail 4K pin Now with the SSF kit and all this other stuff, like,
Sure.
I'm really supportive of that. I think that, like, Charlie Chuck listens, you can also go big, and like people have gone out and got
Yeah.
like massive, 42-inch 8K tables with like all the stuff, but like those are still $6,000 and $7,000 tables here in Canada, anyways, right? Like you can still spend a fortune and get something really, really cool. So there's options there.
Right.
What I'm not okay with is what Metamorphic is doing. That is an
Yes.
abomination.
Okay, good. I'm
the
glad.
world
I
of
want to get your
pinball.
opinion on this.
It's a goddamn abomination. And those people should be put on the stake. I don't know what they're doing. I hate
Put
it.
them in the gallows.
I hate it so much.
Off with their head.
Like I talked about it. Like Princess Bride is such a good,
I
nerdy,
love that movie.
celebrated
Yes.
IP. Like this should
Yes.
the fact that there's a Princess Bride pinball machine coming out should be a time for us to rejoice and talk about the fun of the world and
Yes.
how good things do exist.
But-
And instead of talking about
but-
that, we're talking about how shitty it is that this IP is locked to this
Metamorphic
absolutely idiotic
Garbage.
I think they're onto something with the concept, a pinball that you can just take the playfield out, stick a new playfield in.
Sure.
That idea carries a lot of weight. Like something that, you don't have to drop the expense of everything every single time you want to change your game. Like it's the multi-cade concept, right? It's
Right, exactly.
It's
Yes.
the multi-cade concept. I can either buy a different arcade every time I want to play a different game, or I can buy one arcade that I can buy DLC for and keep playing. I understand the concept. I just don't like what they're doing. I don't like it. It's an abomination. I don't know.
Because I saw it. It looks really odd. But I'm not a diehard real pinball person. I am someone who appreciates the difference. Like there's a difference, right? You have real, you have simulated, V-pin. There's a difference. To merge that together, I'm just like, it's kind of weird. But
There's another one, Stringer Films. I am the biggest Weird Al fan in the world. Weird Al, early Weird Al. Like everybody's just like, oh
Yeah.
man, I loved Amish Paradise and the Jurassic Park song. I'm like, no. I don't play
VHF.
that. I don't play that.
or UHF. Yeah, what the movie he was
before
in. Yeah.
before UHF and around that time, the last Weird Al Yankovic album that I really loved, Fat. That was the
Yeah.
last album.
Yeah, so good.
Stuck in a Closet with Vanna
good.
White, all that stuff. That's my heyday of Weird Al. The perfect Weird Al album for me is Weird Al Yankovic in 3D. That's number one on my list. My favorite album of all time. That's where I want to be with Weird Al. When I found out there was a Weird Al pinball machine, I was so freaking excited. I was like, this is incredible. Everything. This means everything to me. House of Hilarity or whatever it's called. And then I found out what it was, and I was like, you sons of bitches with your Frankenstein table.
You were so close, and you blew it. Oh my God.
Let's see what this says. Fourth Horseman says, I just don't see how the Addams Family table can be fixed. Needs a hardware upgrade. I mean,
You think it's what it is? You think it is?
No, it's a
Okay.
software problem,
It's
and
software,
it's you have to understand that Pinball FX is coming from a really weird place. It's using a brand new engine they had never used before, the Unreal Engine. There's some kind of screw up between the Unreal Engine and getting it to work on lower powered software. It's the same with the issues on the Switch that they had. Getting it to work on PS5 and Xbox, not a problem. Downgrading to Switch, they had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Downgrading to make it work on the ALP 4KP, same thing again. Something to do with that Unreal Engine, maybe, I don't know. But there's something with it there. Again, also I heard that Addams Family has a unique issue and that the other games that they're testing and working on don't even have the same issues. Much more playable. Snoopy would be a good example of that. So if the Snoopy versions, yeah, there you go. JT Brunick says it's the Android versions they're using, though. I don't know. I can only tell you what I told you. And to be fair to Metamorphic, I have never played one of their tables. I'm judging purely on looks. And we know looks aren't everything, right?
Well, that's what my wife says, but I don't believe her.
Thank God that's what my wife said. Those metamorphic pins are always broken, and B, they are terrible when they are working. That's the worst part. I know people shit on Spooky a lot, and like me and you both loved that Halloween machine when we were at that bowling
That
alley.
was pretty
I
cool.
loved
That was
Halloween
really cool.
because I'm a big horror movie guy. Love the IP, thought it was great, and really enjoyed the shots, even though people hate it. But the big knock on Spooky is always, it's happening. Justin and B are going to be so happy. We've completely converted into pinball channels. Anyways, Stringer Films. Is the AtGames 4K pin guaranteed? Because if you need me to poop in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I got spare time. Stringer Films. Stringer Films.
It's like money's missing off your dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times.
Pew C says it works pretty good on Switch, in my opinion. It didn't initially. Go back to the initial launch. They had a lot of problems getting the Switch version to work. So we'll see.
So that's software.
I think it's software. I don't think it's hardware.
That's good. Hopefully they'll find a way.
I think it's also a bad situation. They were like, we're going to do Addams Family first. And from what I hear, Addams Family, for whatever reason, is the hardest one to convert. So they rolled the dice.
Do the software before you paint the cabinet green. Wouldn't you do the software first? Say, maybe we leave with Snoopy.
You would think so, but a lot of times it's like a Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
They get in love with the idea and they just go full speed. I don't get it.
Yeah, no one had any idea it was going to work like this, right? You know, they signed the deal. They went full into it. Anyways, I'm excited. I'm excited to play it for myself.
Yeah.
And honestly, if anybody's having issues with any of it, Snoopy has same lag issues, and physics and Snoopy are off. It's worse than Addams Family. It's funny because I've heard different points of view on this. I've heard a lot of people say Snoopy's much better. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it for myself, I guess. The proof's in the pudding, right?
And you are getting the Addams Family.
Yeah, it's the only one available in Canada.
Only one available. Okay.
Again, because AtGames does not sell to Canada directly.
Is that the version you wanted, or would you rather like Attack from Mars?
In a perfect world, Attack from Mars.
Perfect world.
Just because Attack from Mars is a recreation of an original pinball machine. You know the way I am.
Yeah. You want recreations.
I want recreations. So
of something that existed before.
Yeah. And I also,
it's a good looking table.
Also in terms of real tables, my Mount Rushmore was if I had unlimited resources and unlimited space, I would buy 1A is Godzilla, 1B is Stranger Things, and right there at number 3 is Attack from Mars. Okay, that is the third table I would buy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good looking table.
It's also just awesome. It's so freaking awesome. The theme, everything, it's just great. Yeah. Anyways, Fox, I will keep you here for another 2 hours if people let me, but I know I shouldn't do that because unlike me, some people go to sleep in the nighttime. So
that's what I've heard. Yeah. People sleep from time to time. Yeah.
So have I convinced you? Are you going to get a virtual pinball?
I'm absolutely going to get one. You've got me reconsidering the HD, but I'm just, like I said, I'm sitting back. I'm just enjoying watching this play out. I'm going to be one of those later adopters, and there's benefits there. The negative is I'm going to have to pay full price, but I'm excited about it.
What if I told you it's going to have Sinden connectivity, but only for 2 games?
Sold.
Do you remember? The thing to convince Fox to buy something, you need 2 elements. 1, the community has to challenge them, and number 2,
that's the problem.
There has to be a promise that Guns will work on it, but for a limited number of games.
We're gonna need a $5,000 commitment to play two games. 2. But Mike, the library, it will be phenomenal.
Oh man, the poor Arcade. We were there. Like I don't remember. I don't know if you remember being in Chicago with Michael, and we were there in Galloping Ghost, and we were going through the gun games. And honestly, this is not like insider greasy information. It's not like I have some contact at Unico sending me 26-inch Phoenix monitors, giving me all this news.
What kind of person was that? Oh my god.
But we were there in the arcade, like hanging out with Michael's Zvrebeck. I always say his name wrong, and I'm sorry if I do this.
Svebeck.
Svebeck. We were there in the arcade hanging out with him, and we were playing all the gun games that were there. We're not talking about, like, we weren't playing House of the Dead and stuff, but we were playing like random gun games, and he was like, "Yeah, we're working on this. We're working on this." There was a roadmap they were gonna.
There was
they were gonna do, and like it was so excited.
Epic. Yeah, no, there was going to be a ton. There was a huge catalog of games. It was going to be. It had the potential, man. It would have been really, really nice.
I don't know if I can find it now, JT. Fox, talk to people. I'll see if I can find this video that he's talking about.
Yeah. So early adoption has its its costs. I gotta say, the iArcade, the Double Dragon cabinet that I got, outfitted with the holsters, outfitted with the Sinden light guns. I was very, very hopeful. I was all in. I was ready to go. And the 2 games that they did release were pretty cool for the most part. I enjoyed the Sinden light gun technology. I enjoyed the games. I was very let down that it just died. I didn't see that one coming at all. It really was kind of heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Now I just have one light gun game though. I just have T2.
You know what's really sad, and I'll say this openly about iArcade. Yeah. We did a bunch of videos talking about, like, we saw there was problems. Like, we actually thought we were helping, telling iArcade, like, the games are terrible.
We did.
Do something better. We thought we were helping.
Yes, we were trying to be proactive, right?
Yeah, and like saying you can't go on streams and say you're not making cabinets anymore and stuff like that. And next thing we know, like, they closed. And one of the reasons we were told was that, honestly, the investors got scared off by some of the videos and stuff made about the products. And I felt like shit. Yeah. Like, I felt terrible. I was like, I didn't want to do that.
No, but we were just being honest, and we were like, "Hey, listen, guys, come on! We're behind you. We're rooting for you, but you can't say you're not building cabs anymore. Don't say that.
That's not such a hot idea." Anyways, guys, really quickly, I got a video here from JT. I hope this is the one that he's talking about. I'm just going to share this with you guys here now. So
Let's do it.
JT is at Nebraska Furniture Mart here, and check out the display that these guys have there. I mean,
sexy, man.
This is ridiculous. This is bigger than the Arcade1Up Miami store was.
It's better than the CES display they had.
$249 Tempest. That's not a bad deal. That Pac-Mania cab is so good looking, but that screen, man, kills it.
Was absolute garbage.
And man, look at that horrible art on the side.
Look at the lovely art on the side, Mike. Don't you love that?
I hate that art. I hate all those cabs. The only good one is coming up.
$399. Did you see that price tag?
Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Accurate. Just got a little sticker on the side.
Yes. I don't get it.
Yeah. Look at these prices. Blitz, $14. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, there's the original Golden Tee.
There it is.
You don't see that very often.
No, next to the Big Bad Boy.
They did a small restock of those right towards the Big Bad Boy.
They did, yes.
Is that the original Star Wars? Let me just go back.
That's the second one. That's the second one.
Yeah,
you can tell by the riser and the coin door. Yeah. Damn shame.
Marvel Pinball still rocking. What an awesome space. Like, if anybody put that up as their game room, everybody would be crazy. But there's more.
What? There's the Infinity Game Table. The flagship product from Arcade1Up.
Guys, don't forget, James Hates Everything actually did a really good video on this. I made a joke about Twisted Chris's review of a Nebraska Furniture Market pinball machine one time, and he thought I was talking about him. But James Hates Everything did a big video on Nebraska Furniture Market's display. Check that out as well.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Yeah, the store is crazy.
That's awesome.
I think Nebraska Furniture Mart is like the Brick's sister store in the U.S. But really? Like this is a bigger display than they had for like CES and E3 at the height of things.
I know, this is incredible. Yeah. I've never seen a display like this in a store ever.
Like, man, look at all the products and everything.
That's crazy. What's that? Is it 643 or 443? I couldn't see that.
Last going off at the Brick, they were selling those for $3.99 Canadian. If I was ever going to take a stab at one of those cocktail tables, I should have grabbed one then.
Yeah, I had one. I had one of the Black Series. It just sat too low to the ground.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, look at this space. This is crazy.
It's massive. It's huge.
All right,
massive.
So that's it, guys. I'll take that down.
It's pretty
and
cool.
we'll get ready to clue things up for the night, or we'll stay another 2 or 3 hours. We'll see how things go.
I'll just play it by ear.
Check out James Hates Everything video on Nebraska Furniture Mart. There's the link right there from my buddy Jason, my moderator. Guys, go check it out.
Check it out.
Anyways, so have I convinced you to get a pinball?
Yeah, I'm getting. Well, it was a done deal. I'm going to get one. It's just a matter of time.
What if I told you next Tuesday they're announcing Back to the Future?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in trouble because
Back to the Future would 100% be one.
100%, I'm there. 100%.
What about
100%.
South Park?
No.
Not for you?
Well, no, not 100% day one buy. No.
Stringer Films, who owns many real arcades and smells of rich mahogany, says you'd be better off just buying some actual bricks from the brick.
You brick licker.
We were there for my son's first hockey tournament. I live a couple hours from Omaha. That's awesome,
nice.
man. So, guys, that is Nebraska Furniture Mart. Crazy. Oh, my God. They just showed something that's nuts and so different than our brick here. Let me see if I can just bring this back up for 1 second. I do want to show this. This is an anomaly. It's a working casino-cade. So
it never happens. No.
I've never seen a working casino-cade. I go to the brick location by me. They have a casino-cade out, but the employees are so confused about the online Wi-Fi that they've just never set it up. It's always turned off. It's turned off. The light is on in the top, but the machine doesn't work. And like they just don't know how to get it working. Like I'm even there. I'm like, guys, I'll set up the Wi-Fi for you. Just turn it on.
Well, that doesn't bode well for the targeted, consumer for this, which is
I mean, you have a store display. It's the only way you're going to sell this crap.
Yeah, so turn it on and set it up, and away you go. But if the Gen Zers can't figure this out, what's Granny going to do?
Yeah, it's a lot like the what's it called? The Iconic Arcade. I've seen one, right? I felt it. I've touched it.
And what'd you think?
Oh, it's horrible. It's a piece of shit. It's such a piece of shit. It's even more of a piece of shit in person. So they enhanced the line at my local GameStop there the other day. I went there.
It's now enhanced. Wait, if it's already iconic, how can you enhance it?
They've got a how AtGames has the Legends Gamer Pro, the controller that plugs in.
Yeah.
They've got one for the Iconic Arcade now too. You can buy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, a separate product.
It's got a big sticker. It's got a big Raspberry Pi sticker on the side of it that says "Powered by Raspberry Pi."
Powered by mark of excellence.
Poor Iconic Arcade. I'm not supposed to tell people this, but Iconic Arcade is Nostalgia's business.
Again?
Yeah.
We told him not to. We told him specifically not to. He did it anyway, didn't he?
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'd keep you here all night. You got lots of stuff to do. I love being here talking to you every Monday, and I'm so happy to have Fox here just to josh with.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do this more often because it's really hard because I don't make any plans. I don't have a timeline or a segment, or I don't really know what's going to happen. So it's just so much easier to have someone else with me. I think I'm just going to have a different person here every week and hang out with people. Yeah, I'm going to chill and chat with somebody.
It's like a dual. It's almost like you should put that in the title. I think it'll work.
Yeah. Anyways, Fox, this was awesome. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I couldn't wait to see your face when I told you about the double golden tee, the dark timeline. I knew how disappointing you were going to be. But you heard both those rumors before, though, right? You definitely heard about the Arcade1Up golden tee one.
I did not. Yes, I heard about the. But the fact that New Wave Toys, you son of a, that's horrible.
It's so bad. Like all of us just here waiting for oh man, even if Arcade1Up screws this up, we've got New Wave Toys to bank on.
But it's so horrible and yet also so very likely at the same time. Oh my God.
I really hope it doesn't happen. Oh my God, that was so terrible.
I want to see the intro to that video. What are you gonna? Well, guys, it happened. Cut the credit.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Jason Doe's 2024, the year of golden tea.
Well, it's golden tea. Again?
It's like friggin' Groundhog's Day. That's what it's like.
It's the same cabinet.
Anyways, guys, Have a wonderful night. May all your golden tea dreams come true. Goodbye.
Bye.